Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, shit. Did I come with that this morning? You know, old heads is listening right now like, I know that young buck ain't played that Earth, Wind & Fire like that, gonna throw that on. That's 73. That's my year right there. That's 1973, 74. That's my year. What's going on, everybody, man? VJ's on Sportsmanlike Conduct. I want to welcome you all live right now on my Facebook, on my Instagram. Instagram live, my Facebook live on Investor Sports Network, also live on Unsportsmanlike Conduct channel, Investor Sports channel on Spreaker.com, and don't forget to catch us podcasted later on iHeartRadio, man. I want to welcome everybody into VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I am your host, as always, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funny. VJ Wright, that's because he always thinks he is. Mr. 8515, the Big Vanilla Never Shut Up, the Big Vanilla Top Talker, VA Top Talker. You know what I'm saying? The Vanilla Shack, the Blue-Eye Barkley, the Creamy Kobe. Y'all know all the nicknames. I'm the Big Vanilla Color Card, too. Because I got a deck of them shits, and sometimes they got to be dealt out. And when they need to be dealt out, I am not afraid to be a color card Vegas casino dealer. Great show lined up today. We're going to go quick. I won't do an opening rant. We will jump around on some topics today. Only about 40 to 45 minutes today. I got some quick hits, trying out something a little new. Wasn't even going to do a show today. Wasn't going to do a show. And there's something spoke to my spirit to just get up and just get something done, just to put some content out there, even if it wasn't the normal hour and a half, hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, hour and 45, 2-hour show, which I would normally do. So quick hit things. We'll talk about MLB baseball. They have a new format, 16 teams. It's a best out of 3 in the first round. Game starts today. I have up the Astros and the Minnesota Twins right now. Also, we'll get the Yankees and the Indians later. I think all the American League goes today. The entire American League side goes today. So got a few Cy Young hurlers on the mound tonight, possible Cy Young winners. And then, of course, the Yankees get to throw up Garrett Cole, which is big time and one of the best pitchers in baseball in the world right now. I'll give some predictions, some light predictions. We'll go as the series, as the playoffs kind of go on with MLB. I always felt kind of funny about a 60-game season. When they play 162, it's 100 plus games less. And then you had teams that lost games because of COVID testing, being positive in their locker rooms. You had game canceled. So everybody didn't even get into 60. True testament to sports is about money. Always has been about money. Always will be about money. And anybody that thinks differently, you are just completely fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. These people are going to get this done. Mask or not, fans or not, there is way too much money in sports. Why do you think everybody's trying to get in sports broadcasts and podcasting? Look at all the podcasts that have popped up. All the sports talk podcasts that have popped up since quarantine. People are ordering equipment. They're just doing it right at home. This is how you start. This is how you grind. And then you get on some shows. And you get to some networks. And you get to collect some checks here and there. And then next thing you know, you sign to a contract. Or you're hired by the network and you're sent out on game. Now you're living the sports broadcast journalist life. So always great stuff to get on and talk about, man, and keep it as quick as I possibly can today. Also, college football, high scoring. You had 3 top 10 teams give up 37 points or more. Texas gave up 57. Texas gave up 57 points. They won to 63 to 57. They gave up 57 damn points. Oklahoma gave up 37 points. LSU gave up 43. Top ranked teams. This shows that offseason is super important in football. It is super important in football. You gotta live, you gotta run, you gotta do push-ups and sit-ups and jump boxes and lunges and lift weights. You have to do this stuff. Work on your speed, run. It hurts, it sucks. Some people get it, a great body and getting great health. Running feels good to them. Running hurts me like shit. I try to run. Running hurts. That shit hurt, man. Like, I'm older now, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a thick vanilla, bro. Running hurts. Shit. But it shows that you got to have an off season. You got to have a full summer practice and spring ball, all of that was wiped out for most teams. And most Division I Power 5 conferences, these defenses hasn't hit anybody. They haven't seen anybody but their own players and their own offenses, and there's no cupcakes. You don't get a chance to warm up against Southwest Louisiana. You don't get a directional school or a military school. Sometimes the military schools running a triple option will come in and give you problems. But if you're bigger, faster, stronger, had an entire offseason of steak and lobster and filet and the best protein and the best fruit and veggies and everything locally ground in the SEC and the South being delivered to your team, delivered to your players, fed to them. The best facilities, the facilities outweigh, the facilities at Michigan outweigh the facilities at Air Force or the facilities at Southwest Wyoming, Central Michigan. You can hang for a quarter and a half. Sometimes nature just takes over. Law versus nature. Sometimes nature, bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, better prepared, better trained, better practiced, better rest, better fed, better lifted, better conditioned, better taken care of. That matters on the football field. And when you don't have to when you don't play a cupcake and you get a legit team that can sling the ball around or run the football or throw the ball around, if you look at what Mike Leach is doing, you've got to be shitting me. Mike Leach brings in Costello from Stanford, and all Costello does is goes into LSU. Mind you, only 20 to 25,000 fans, because that place seats 80 grand, 70 grand, somewhere in that range. That place packs out, but they have to have a certain percentage not there for COVID and for social distancing. So you still have some fans there. So it wasn't the typical atmosphere as far as crowd noise is. But Mike Leach took a team in there with a fifth-year senior transfer quarterback, and the kid threw for 637 yards on LSU's defense. I don't care who they lost to the NFL. And most of that talent was on the offensive side of the ball. LSU scored 30 late in the high 30s. They put up their points. The defense, though, just got mauled and ran over and thrown on, thrown over, thrown underneath, thrown to the left, thrown to the right. Just got thrown on all over the field when you give up 637 passing yards to one quarterback. A guy that had to transfer out of Stanford to Mississippi State with Mike Leach and then kind of say, okay, I'll come play 1 year. And Mike Leach sitting there almost look like he's a police, like, you know how the police officers show up and they start to take down what happened. They put a little pad out of their top pocket. They put a little pad, security guards put a little pad out of their top pocket. Their little notepad to take their little notes on the occurrences that happened. He's writing on one of those. These coaches nowadays got poster board that's better suited for your kid's science fair in the 5th grade as their backdrop and when they set their science fair project up at the science fair at the school. Guys are holding up construction paper that damn big with that many plays and marks and red marks and highlights. And he's over there with a little police officer's information notebook writing this shit down. It looked thin too, like it was crumbling in his hand as he was pressing to write on it. And just sticking the pin cap back in his mouth. I mean, it was just great to have college football back, but there are some alarming things. Someone asked me, well, how are they going to do the polls? I don't know. I guess they're going to re-poll. They're going to reset and re-poll everything once all the schools come back. Big Ten's back October 25th, 26th. Big 12 is back. Pac-12 is back November 1st, November 2nd. They're going to have to redo the polls. They're going to have to hold off the college football. They're going to have to redo the polls and hold off the rankings. They're going to do their damnedest to get a college national football playoff championship in this season. Just like the NBA, they were damned if they weren't going to get this season in and finish this season. The NHL, they were damned if they weren't going to get this season in. Guys, hell, they're still playing tennis and golf and NASCAR. Like, every sport is back. Maybe not on every level. SoCal, one of the best areas in high school football. No high school football this year, or at least right now. But no talks of just start. High school, I think you just lost this year. They can't play November and spring high school football. I just think it clashes with all the other spring sports. And I know in some areas, track and soccer are the same time as in the spring. So you can't have the football field that's got a track meet. You got the shot put lines. You got the most of these high schools, you have the track stuff right around the football area. I just don't think that mixes. You got the soccer field. I just don't think that mixes. I think high school football might just be lost in some states this year. Sad as it is, but I just think it is what it is. What's up to my man Mike White, always supporting me, man, listening live right now on Spreaker.com. Appreciate you, Mike. Notre Dame looks good, bro. Notre Dame looks good. I got to admit it. Notre Dame looks good. I like the way Clemson looks. Alabama looks strong, but Alabama, in my opinion, they're going to miss having a Jalen Hurts-Tua type combination. If you think about it, they've had a very mobile, basically kind of do everything athletic black quarterback the last 5 seasons. It's a real big change for what they bring off the bench now to play. And Jones, and he's got a big arm. I like him. He's mobile. He can move, but he's not those guys. I think that might be the one thing to keep Alabama from winning the national championship. They're going to have to ride Najee, the running back. They're going to have to ride him almost kind of like they had to ride Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, when they play with lesser quarterbacks, I believe. I just think that's how I see it early. Could change. Waddle is legit. If you guys have not seen Waddle, you talk about a guy with world-class speed. I'm surprised he's not training for the Olympics. He can flat out fly. You saw flashes of it last year. He's one of those players that regardless of what angle you think you got on him, he's fast enough to outrun any angle in America on the college football field. He's good. He's damn good. You guys better keep an eye out on him. Very interested to see what happens when the Pac-12 comes back, how SC will rebound from last year, how UCLA is going to rebound. UCLA was talking about calling off all sports, like canceling the sports programs and just making themselves an institution of academia. UCLA actually had quiet talks of trying that. That's insane to think about what COVID has done, that it would take a school in a Power 5 conference that brings in billions for their sports to say, you know what, we're just a higher institution of academia. We're going to lose so much money. It'd be better if we just call it all off altogether. Now, I don't think that was a smart plan. I don't know who the hell came up with that, but somebody thought it. And I could be wrong. I don't work in the university structures. I have no idea where the money's allocated or how they do it. Or I have no idea. That's not my realm. But I still think it was a dumbass idea. Very interesting to see how the Big Ten's going to shape up. Ohio State looks like they are the power team in that conference. Me, of course, being a Michigan man, I'm waiting to see what Joe Milton got the starting job. McNamara, the backup quarterback, guys. Remember that name. This kid, they say, reminds them of what Brady looked like when Brady walked on the campus there. And it's not to say he's going to be Tom Brady, but the way he throws, his demeanor, his poise, his arm, his accuracy is quite statuistic. Not going to move a lot, but knows how to shift in the pocket, but is accurate as hell. But Joe Milton beat out the McCaffrey younger brother, the youngest McCaffrey brother, who has now entered the transfer portal. Interesting to see what Clemson's going to be. I tell you this too, another team, the Miami Hurricanes. Watch out for the Miami Hurricanes. They land-based. They scraped Florida State Saturday night. That shit wasn't close. And I agree with Kirk Herbstreit. He kept beating it, but he was so right. This feels different. Sometimes you can look at programs and just see it feels different. Shout out to my listeners and my live people on Instagram Live here. I see New York tour guide joined. Thank you. I wave at you. Appreciate you. New listener. And CLTT, I can't, ma'am, I told you last time, this is one of the weirdest Instagram titles. It's CLTTOPHX. Like, I think PHX is Phoenix, but Clotta Phoenix, whatever. I'll wave to you too. Appreciate you joining in. Also the live listeners. My man Robert Simmons is tuning in. Appreciate you, Robert. And I love the profile picture sound, homie. So I got to put it up with you, brother. I love that right there. Yeah, you're the team Notre Dame. I like the way Notre Dame looks. And I'm a Michigan man. I hate Notre Dame. I grew up hating Notre Dame. I've never rooted for Notre Dame. There's not a game I've ever gone for Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame to lose. I love the fact that Reggie Bush pushed Matt Leinart. Basically, Reggie Bush went and won a game by himself at a very, very good Notre Dame team on national TV at 3 touchdowns that day. Reggie Bush won that game, and you guys even let the grass grow all week to try to slow Reggie down, and it still didn't work. Reggie showed his natural ass that day. I love to watch Notre Dame lose, but I keep it real on VJs and Sportsmanlike Conduct. I like the way they look. They are big, they're fast, they're physical. Listen, Kelly, he's had teams there that should have won it all. Notre Dame's had 2 or 3 teams, I believe, should have won it all. I will admit, I thought they got hosed at Clemson on the goal line on the 4th and goal play where I thought it was offensive pass interference. I'll give you that. Robert Simmons says, have you heard anything about college basketball? Yes. My connections at University of North Carolina, not Northern, University of North Carolina has told me he believes that they will play in November. They will try to start to get the season going in November and December. Once again, these schools are not going to miss out on this money, Robert. They're not, bro. It's a lot of money, man. I was covering college football for ESPN Radio in Learfield, IMG last year. I had a contract to do a whole season for a university. Flew all over the West Coast, all over the region, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Colorado. Had a great time doing it. Bro, I saw it up close and personal. And that was on the FCS level, Division I level. That wasn't the Power 5. The Power 5 level. I was on the FCS. That was last year was my first full season. The year before that, I got contracted for 3 games. Last year, they brought me back for a whole season. So it was my first season. So I'm working my way up. I'll be on them Big Ten games one day. I'll be on them SEC games one day. Believe that. I'll be on them joints. But just even the level that I was on last year, I saw the money. The school I was covering last year wanted to fire their coach, but they still owed him like $4 million. And when I heard that, I said, $4 million. He makes $4 million to coach this team? With these facilities? With this fan base? Like, this team's not even good. They don't have great facilities. They're all the way up in San Luis Obispo. This team's not that great at all. Y'all owe him, and I could be off on the figure, but it's something that made me go, what? We're on a flight to a game, and somebody whispered it to me. I said, excuse me? They pay him how much? Oh, wow. Oh, they got money to spread around then. They underpaying me to call these games. Shit. Was my first thought, was like, hold on. Well, if y'all paying him that, and he's going to finish 3-8 this year, which I predicted. A lot of people there didn't like it, but I was asked. I looked at the schedule. I studied the conference. I saw what was coming in. And I said, yeah, that's a 3-8 schedule. Oh, no, man, we could be 8-3 this year. No, the hell you can't. No, you can't. You don't have the players. You don't have the players. You don't have the coaching. You have some players in certain positions, but you don't have the players. You don't have the scheme. You don't have the coaching. Nobody in that level is really running hardcore, old school, Army triple option, some of the military schools. You want to compete, you have to open up the offices in football. So anyway, that's what I heard about college basketball, Robert. Appreciate the comment in there too, man. Appreciate your support. Please share my show, pass it on. I'm building it, bro. I'm building. I'm putting money in it. I have advertisements. I've invested money into my show. I've invested money into how I carry it and how I put things together. So please, brother, pass it on to your friends and share it on your page, man. I'm building something special here. Trust me on this. I'm building something special. But I heard basketball November, December, but they want to play this season. But just to finish up on college basketball, football really quick. A lot of scoring, as I said. Interesting to see what the defense are going to look like next week as they get more acclimated. Are we even going to have an undefeated team this year? Teams are kind of getting a head start by being late. I honestly want to give the Big Ten some shout out right now. I grew up on Big Ten football. Love Big Ten football. I'm a Michigan man. I love them more than any college football team in history. The fuck guys are in that conference. I hate them more than any other college football team in history. I hate Michigan State. I don't wear green. Like, I don't like Minnesota, Purdue. Purdue, like, that sounds stupid. Your school sounds dumb. Purdue. It sounds like you're taking a shit in the tropical island somewhere. What'd you just do, man? Take a shit? Nah, I took a Purdue. Oh. Yeah, man, me take a Purdue. Me gotta go to Purdue, man. I'm a Big Ten guy, man. I thought they did it right. They did. They were the first to say we're not playing. My heart was broken. My heart was broken. Right now, actually pat me on the back. I was laying on the bed reading my phone. She pat me on the back. It's like, are you okay? I said, I'm about to jump out a fucking window. They just canceled the Big Ten just canceled their football season. And my heart was just broken. But they did it right. They were the first to back off. Let the science and the numbers speak for itself. Let everybody jump in that wanted to play, and that's fine. People can jump in and play. That happened. Big Ten said, we'll wait. Now the Big Ten's coming in and said, nope. And we've had more time to practice, more time to prepare. We're going to be later into the season. I think it's going to work out for the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten wins the national championship this year. I really do. I think the Big Ten wins the national championship this year. I think good karma will come to them because they did it right. They handled it right. And I believe they will win the national championship this year. Real quick on Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, as of yesterday, no longer the coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, fired, released, let go, walked away, whatever. He should have never made it out of the bubble as their head coach. After that letdown, he should have never made it back to his room as the head. When he put his key or slid his key or touched with his little band thing that these sensory bands. I've been to the site where they're staying. I've been there before. The place where they're staying, I've been there before. And they give you these, you don't have a key. You have one of these kind of wristband things that have a sensor on them. You wipe that up against the door. That's how you get in. They don't have keys and stuff like that anymore. So before, hit that wipe, when he wiped and swiped that wrist shit, he should have just been Doc Rivers. He should not have been Doc Rivers, the head basketball coach of a $4 billion team. $4 billion. I got the numbers down here too. Actually, I did a show where I talked about the top 10 grossing teams. And I talked about Doc Rivers being such a nice guy. Yeah, 2.6. That's behind, in all of sports, actually. So that's behind the Knicks, Lakers, Warriors, Chicago, Boston. Oh, no, these are just NBA teams. Sorry, NBA teams. So Knicks 4.6, Lakers 4.4, Warriors 4.3, Shy 3.2. Thank you, Michael Jordan. Boston 3.1, Clippers 2.6. $2.6 million franchise he should not be the head coach of. He didn't have them prepared. Now you're hearing all these rumblings that the players don't like that his players get special treatment, that the stars get special treatment. They don't feel Paul George is a star. We've heard reports of that. I don't know how true it is. I'm just telling you what people have said. I don't know if I really believe that. Like, there's Montrezl Harrell can't believe he's better than Paul George. Pat Beverly can't believe he's better than Paul George. Pat Beverly talked so much shit in the seeding games. He didn't show up at all in the playoffs. And I know he was dinged up and hurt, but I mean, so was Steph in 2016. Nobody wants to hear that. LeBron came back from 3-1. Nobody wants to hear that he was 70%, 75%. Had his knee drained twice, got hurt in the Western Conference Finals, got hurt in the first round of the playoffs. Like, nobody wants to hear that. Especially if it goes against your opinion and what you're pulling for. But there is definitely a sense of entitlement a lot of times with certain coaches, black or white. Listen, the brother, he's a brother. I always try to stick by our brother. But, I mean, you had Blake, you had CP3, you had JJ Redick, you had DeAndre. And now they put this team together. You got Bev, you got Lou Will, you got Chicken Wing Will, you got Chicken Wing Lou. Chicken Wing Lou, that's what I'm going to call it from now on. Wing Lou. That's Chicken Wing Lou now. Y'all know I give guys nicknames like Andre Miller is still Uncle Andre because he just reminded me of that old dude at the YMCA that could bust your ass. Wasn't fast, couldn't jump, couldn't dunk, couldn't grab the net, but was efficient with the ball, didn't turn it over, got everybody involved, could dish the joint, and could get buckets. Uncle Andre. That's Chicken Wing Lou. You got the Claude Kawhi, you got PG, and I've said about PG plenty of times before. We have seen the best PG we're going to see. I said this shit when he was at Indiana. I said this on air when he was at Indiana. We have seen the best PG. And PG got bad karma, man. Y'all know what PG did with his teammate. Come on, y'all know the story. Do I got to tell y'all? Do I got to tell y'all the PG story? And why he does get some bad karma in sports? In sports life? He broke a golden rule. That's why we don't see Shannon Brown no more. That's why Shannon Brown disappeared out of the league. He broke a sports cardinal rule. That's why the Dallas Mavericks, the triple J threat got broken up back in the 90s. And they had to wait all the way till Dirk can revive them after being up 2-on-1 finals and then losing 4 straight. Dirk had to bounce back, had to hang in there, bounce back, take them back to the finals, take them back to the promised land against the same team, the same franchise, and then finally get his championship. There's sports karma. PG is going through sports karma, man. He broke God code. He broke God code, and you got to pay for that in sports. You don't get no pass on that shit. PG is who he's going to be. He ain't going to be no better. All you guys that want PG to be better, this is just who he is. He ain't going to be no better. And Kawhi isn't that alpha, loud talking. I mean, he's a great player, but he's not, I don't know if he's that guy. I just know Kawhi's great. He really is. But I guess because it was like Tim Duncan, I think Tim Duncan might be the greatest all-around big man of all time. But it's hard because he never made a sound. And we like athletes who make sounds. We like athletes who talk. If they tell you enough, they were the best, we start to listen to believe it. Deion Sanders thinks he's the best athlete to ever walk in the NFL. I think it's not close. I think it's Bo Jackson. There's nothing Bo couldn't do. Bo would do everything. Catch, run, he would tackle if he had. Deion never tackled. Deion never wanted to tackle. Deion used his speed to play receiver. He wasn't a great receiver. He used his speed to play receiver. He wasn't Deion wasn't a top-notch receiver. But you can get him on a go route because he's so goddamn fast. And then throw it up to him, make it look good. He was a great athlete, one of the top 5 athletes I think I've ever seen. But Jim Brown was also an All-American in lacrosse at Syracuse, All-American at Syracuse in football, All-Pro, All-Decade, everything, and NFL's number 1 player, NFL Network's number 1 player of all time is Jim Brown. Jerry Rice was a close number 2. So there's been athletes, but I think it's Bo. But Deion talks so much, he'll convince you. It's like watching the news. You say it so much, they convince you. We don't say it about Duncan. We don't say it about Kawhi. So not a lot of people are really convinced. But if you just put the tape on and cut the commentary off, you could easily look and say, yeah, those are either the best or 2 of the best players that ever played a game. But I just don't think you get that from Kawhi. And I'm peeling back just a little bit because I got to keep it a buck. If I was going to rag another player for blowing 3-1, I got to rag him for blowing 3-1 too. Robert Simmons agrees with me. He said, I think Paul George is a little overrated. You just heard what I said, bruh. We've seen the best Paul George we're going to see. It's not going to get any better. I hate to admit it. I feel that way about Dame Lillard, and I love Dame. Dame is like that, man. Dame is a great player, but I think Dame is maxed out. What else can he do? He's not going to grow. He's not going to get bigger and stronger. I think Portland will bounce back and be a 2 or 3 seed next year. They had a lot of injuries this season. That's how they ended up trying to fight to get in the playoffs. People have to remember, Portland made it to the Western Conference Finals just a season ago and got swept by the Golden State Warriors, who, if not, don't have the injuries to their team. They win a 3rd straight championship. Steph Curry and that crew are sitting with 4. Durant's got 3. And we're never talking about Kawhi winning for Toronto. And Drake looks even stupider than he already looks. There's always variables in these players. There's always variables, but there's no more variables as much as there is in basketball. And I know Doc Rivers is a nice guy. I did a show about nice guys. I still got the notes here. We talked about nice guys. Sometimes nice guys finish last. It just is what it is. Sometimes in sports, you got to be mean. You got to be an asshole. I have a list here of nice guys are they want the image to be the nice guys, and their peers are even a little lukewarm on them. Then I have a list of mean assholes, but are totally respected by their peers. MJ, Kobe, Kareem, Saban, Popovich, Bill Belichick, Mike Tyson, Brady, Serena, Nadal, Jimmy Johnson, Phil Jackson, Tiger Woods. That's 52 championships that I just named off. There's 52 championships. Tiger's got 15 majors. Serena's got 23 Grand Slams. Nadal's got 19 Grand Slams. Jimmy Johnson's got 7 NASCAR Season Cup championships. MJ's got 6. Kobe's got 5. Belichick's got 6. Brady's got 6. Popovich's got 5. Guys who you would look at it and go, I don't like that guy, or he's mean, or he's an asshole, or you know. You think Bill Belichick gives a shit? Do you think Bill Belichick cared that we made fun of his hoodie last week? First of all, you know he don't give a shit. He showed up with the hoodie on. With holes all in his shit. He showed up looking like the man probably was up all night long because he knew he had Seattle coming up. Or was that after the Seattle game? If it was after the Seattle game, he definitely was up all night long. Why don't we score right there on the one last play of the game when I got 6'5", 6'6", 245, 250 pound Cam Newton? Why don't we score? I'm up all damn night. He looked like he didn't sleep. He ain't make love. He ain't eat breakfast. He ain't do shit. But that's who he is. And he's deemed mean or an asshole, but he's got 6 championships. Jordan said it in the Last Dance documentary. If you want nice, or if you think people are too mean, or that's not the way to do it, he said, ain't never won nothing. Ain't never won nothing. The cameras make everything look a certain way, guys. The cameras make everything look good. There's some people out here that are winners that we don't know what it's like when the doors close. We just see Ellen DeGeneres go through this shit. Right? She is winning. Her show's been on, 15, 16, 17 years. She's making huge money for that business and that industry she's in. She's winning. And stories come out that she's a B. She's mean. You can't make eye contact. You can't look at her. Of course, she gets to come on TV and clean it up and apologize and with a virtual audience. I saw a clip of that online. Yeah, okay. It would be great if black people got to do that. Nice guys with the nice image. Peers are a little lukewarm on them. Not everybody cherishes them or respects them or worships or honors them. The elephant in the room, LeBron. Wants to be everybody's friend, wants to be seen as this nice guy, even once tried to fake everybody into thinking he was this villain and he was mad and said it was real, but then came back 2 years ago in an interview and said it wasn't real and he had a hard time really doing it because it's just not who he is. You want to be not your nice guy, that's fine. 3-6 in the finals. Might be 3-7. Even if they win this year, you're 4-7. You're still 3 finals under 500. 4-6, excuse me. Doc Rivers, no championship, nice guy. Peyton Manning, 2 Super Bowls, but 1 goes to his defense. And in another one he was in, he got blown off the field by a bunch of mean guys on Seattle's defense. And see what I did there? Cam Chancellor, one knows a nice guy. Earl Thomas, he flicked his own damn team off being carted off the field after blowing his knee when they didn't give him an extension. He gives them a middle finger as he's being rolled off the field. His own franchise. That's not what we would think a nice guy would do. Bennett on that defensive line, those were some guys that are, kind of rub some people the wrong way. Kind of rub some people a little different. Score update right now in the Houston-Minnesota game. It is still 0-0, top of the second inning. I'll be watching baseball all day. I'm into this now, man. I love the playoffs in baseball. Drew Brees, nice guy, 1 championship. John Stockton, nice guy, no championships. Reggie Miller, nice guy, no championships. Patrick Ewing, nice guy, no championships. Phil Mickelson, nice guy, has only got 5 majors and it took him forever to win those. He won't even get to 10. Tigers got 15. 2 from the all-time record. And he's still got about 4 or 5 years to get one of those. He'll get another Masters. Masters is, you can get a Masters. You can get a Masters when you're old. Tiger Woods will get another Masters. I'm not sure what other one it'll be. Maybe he'll catch a tour, a PGA Tour Championship. You know, maybe he'll get a U.S. Open if they have it like in a Pinehurst or a Pinehurst 2. But courses like Bethpage Black or maybe Pebble Beach. Maybe Tiger could get a Pebble Beach. He won a U.S. Open there once before. Maybe nostalgia creeps back in and he could get one of those. But he'll get another Masters. So I guarantee you he'll finish with 16 majors. Phil Mickelson's the nice guy. Sergio Garcia's the nice guy. Some of these young kids today, nice guys. Man, you're not winning shit consistently. You got to be an asshole in sports. You got to be obsessive with it. You got to be sadistic with it, man. You got to be borderline, like, satanic with the shit. Really. I don't mean like worshiping Satan. If I got to say that to some of y'all, then you're just dumb as hell. Shouldn't have to say that like that. I mean, you get what I'm saying. You almost got to be cult-like to be a winner. And a lot of times that's frowned upon by society. Doc Rivers should have never, ever made it out of the bubble, the Clippers head coach. And Ballmer's showing how soft he is because he should have fired his ass on the spot. You let everybody come home. They get through the conference finals. We get to the finals. And then it's, he's out as the coach of the LA Clippers. Oh, but the Pelicans and the Sixers have already reached out to Doc. You know what Doc Rivers reminds me of? Doc Rivers, Alvin Gentry is who we want Doc Rivers Doc Rivers is who we want Alvin Gentry to be. They're mid-level, bring a team up, bring some young players type coaches. They're not coaching no championship. Listen, remember the comments of, I think it was Perkins who said, anybody could have coached us. Rondo was more of a coach than Doc was the year we won a championship in Boston. You didn't really, KG, hungry. Jesus Shuttlesworth, hungry. P2, Mr. Inglewood, Paul Pierce, hungry. Rondo, just being one of the best point guards in the game. Then you add in a Kendrick Perkins, big roughhouse, big burly throw around type nigga. Leon Poe, Sam Cassell came back. You had who got his head slapped by Rayful Austin? I forget Eddie House. Eddie House was on that squad. It was just prime that year for them to win that championship. Everything just fit. And I don't want to say regardless of who the coach was, but their own people that were in the franchise, and one of the players came back and said anybody could have coached that team and won that championship. Couldn't get out of the first round with Orlando. Was up 3-1 on my Pistons. And at the end of game 4, Tracy McGrady famously says, it feels good to finally get to the second round. Y'all can't see me on radio, but I got my green juice on video on my live feeds on social media. I'm drinking the green juice with the straw. Tracy McGrady said, it feels good to finally be to the second round. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. You're not Big Papi. Up 3-1 on Houston some years back with that core with the Clippers, with Lob City, blew that. And they would have never got to that game, guys, if Chris Paul in game 7 in round 1 doesn't flip a shot over his head blindly over outstretched Tim Duncan that goes in with like 0.7 seconds left to win that series. They don't get that far then. They lose in the first round with home court. Well, people would say, well, that's the Spurs. And not that old Spurs team. You're supposed to win that series, and they did, but it took them 7. You could care about the family. You could care about the players. You could be nice. You could say all the right things. But in the heat of the moment, man, you got to bring that circle in tight. You got to get down on one knee, and you got to pick up that dry erase board, and you got to draw some shit up. I just don't think that he does that well. I don't think that he motivates his guys well. That's part of coaching. What system are you really running? Like, what defense? Come on, man. You can't let Denver come back from 3-1 and win that. That's coaching. And I'm surprised that he lasted this long. Quick NFL note. The Titans have had to close their entire facility. They had to close their entire facility today. I'm sorry, I'm getting pictures here. Shout out to my man, Luis Estrada, who is working for Spectrum. You guys heard him on the show. He's working for Spectrum. I'll show you guys here on social media. They brought in some of the championship trophies for the Lakers. He's a big Laker fan. And he sent me pictures. He took pictures of the trophies. And I think he's got some pictures with the trophies. There he is. There's my guy. I got to show him all. That's my homeboy working hard for Spectrum Sports. Also does his own radio thing, Louis Sports House. So he's chilling with some Laker championship trophies. And that's got to be cool as a fan. They only brought 4 of them in studio. They weren't going to bring them all in. But I guess they have I guess they have some type of preview show that they're doing, so they brought some championship trophies in, so he got a chance to take some pictures. And I got Kobe. I'm repping Kobe. I'm not repping Lakers, repping Kobe, because I know Kobe is up there smiling. I still hate the Lakers. I still hope the Heat beat them, but I just don't think they will. And if, listen, football, what will escape me from really having to talk about the finals if the Lakers do win is that it's football season. I got so much football to talk about. So, I'll avoid that. I wanted to just be clean. I hate the fact that Rachel Nichols came on TV yesterday and said that the Lakers did not. We have to clear something. No, what do you mean? You guys weren't the reporter. You guys didn't report it. You guys weren't the only one to report. There are a lot of people that put out the report that the Lakers went to the league and said LeBron wasn't getting enough calls. And the next game, he had 14 free throw attempts, 13 the next game. And ironically, at the same time, Jokic started getting in foul trouble every quarter, every game from that point forward. I don't like that. That's what makes it look fluky. You don't have to come on and defend that. You don't have to come on. Yes, they did go to the league. Oh, well, they didn't go to the league. Yeah, but they have a website set up for the coaches and the players to file their complaint. And they filed a huge complaint. And you can file your complaint. That's not my beef. But don't switch the officiating that fast. Like, I don't buy that, man. I can't rock with that. I never have. That's always been my beef with the NBA. It's always been my beef with the NBA. Phil used to do it for Shaq. That's why Kobe to me is still the GOAT. Kobe's my GOAT. You can have Jordan, you can have LeBron. Kobe's my GOAT. Because other than them two dudes, nobody had to go through more than what Kobe had to go through to be where he is right now as far as his status in the NBA. Dale Harris didn't know what to do with him as a rookie and didn't want to offend the older guys by playing a young rookie, which is some dumb shit. So he sat Kobe, so people use that. Oh, he didn't even start. Yeah, he was better than Eddie Jones then, okay? I don't care if Eddie Jones made the All-Star team that year. I don't give a shit about that. We all know what the All-Star team voting stuff is. So don't try to push that on me. That's number one. Number two, when he did get his playing time, there was guys that didn't want him to shoot the ball and this. Listen, go ahead with all that shit. Then you had to play second fiddle to Shaq, and we just saw what Shaq was doing to Penny in Orlando. When Kobe finally became of Kobe's like, nah, bro, get your big butt down in the post. Or if I shoot, get the rebound. You Shaq, you the biggest dude out here. They win 3 championships, lose to San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals in 6. Then they go back to the finals the following year, lose to Detroit in 5. Shaq gets traded. All that stuff happens in Colorado with Kobe. Kobe's left with Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Chris Mim, a bunch of guys that can't play. Gets him to a 7 seed, has some of his best scoring seasons. Front office told him they were going to get guys in there. They waited too long. Kobe went on Stephen A. Smith's show. Let it be known. Next thing you know, they make a deal for Gasol. They had already drafted Bynum. And then Kobe rising right back to 3 more finals, 2 more championships. Had to reinvent himself, had to show that he was flawed, come from the snitching in Colorado, come from the cheating on his wife in Colorado, rebuild himself. That's why I tell people all the time, I like athletes that are flawed. I don't mind asshole flawed athletes. Those are real people to me. I don't trust nobody that we ain't got no dirt on. I don't trust you because we all do dirt. I don't trust nobody we ain't got no dirt on. We ain't got no dirt on you. I don't trust you. Robert Simmons says same thing with Kyrie. The best Kyrie we've seen? Yeah, because of the injuries. I think we've seen the best Kyrie we're going to see. And that's because of the injury. I think he's still good enough with Kevin Durant to win a championship and with other young pieces. And I think they'll grab a free agency nobody sees coming, like Grant. Like Jelani Grant out of Denver is a free agent. Jelani Grant out of Denver made himself some money. He's a free agent. He would fit perfectly in Brooklyn. He would fit perfectly in Brooklyn as a starter or coming off the bench. He would fit perfectly in a team like Brooklyn. He would fit perfectly in Miami. There's some teams he could go to he would fit really, really good in. But I agree with you with Kyrie. But the finals is set. Heat Lakers. I'm going for the Heat, but I think the Lakers are going to win. I think it's just set up no matter how you view it, whether it's Kobe looking down, or you're doing it for Kobe, or the league wants the Lakers to win, or the league wants LeBron to win, or Vegas wants the Lakers. However you see it, I still think that the Lakers are going to win this series. And I won't have to eat too much crow because I done talked enough shit. But I won't have to eat too much crow because there's so much college football that is starting. I'm so excited that college football is going to be in full. I sat literally where you guys see that 2019 USC banner right there from Raynell's master's program there. I sat right there all day Saturday and watched college football. Full game. So I'm just flipping back. Had one on the phone, one on TV, one on my other phone. Like I was in the realm of just watching college football, man. It felt so good. So with the season starting by the time the final, really with all the conferences playing by the time the finals over, I'll talk about it for a day or two. Then it's over. Then the NBA's got to figure out when they're going to come back and play. And then I get to talk just football is what I love to do. Anyway, shows coming up later this week. We will go through our picks. Right now, I am 29-17-1 after all my picks against or with the spread. Started off kind of slow, kind of picked up my pace last week and then got a better pace going last week. Quick fantasy note, too, because we haven't really thrown any fantasy out there and talked any fantasy. So just a quick fantasy note right now. 4 master teams that I'm running right now. 3-0. Let's just check the records here on the fantasy teams. But I believe 3-0, 3-0, 2-1, and 1-2 are the records for my fantasy teams. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, like I thought I was dead in the water in this matchup last night, and Patrick Mahomes just came in and saved the hell and saved me from the depths. Kyler Murray, Kamar the other night, 44 points. Kyler Murray's holding me down right now. I got a team. Listen to this lineup. Murray, Kamar, Jonathan Taylor, Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Gesicki from Miami, Jerry Jeudy, San Fran defense, and Matt Prater's the kicker. Like, I mean, that's 166.9 in a PPR league for ESPN.com. That's just phenomenal scoring and also great drafting by me. Another team I got right here, 140-137. I was down like 50 points. Mahomes gives me 40. Tyreek Hill gave me 21. Keenan Allen gave me 30. And the bench was great too. The bench, I made all the right moves. Swift will never recover. He had 0 yards. He was 2.9 points. Leonard Fournette, he's going to be later in the season. Stash Leonard Fournette, guys. If you don't got him, get him and just stash him. Stash him for later in the season. Oh, another one too. LaShawn McCoy. Draft LaShawn. Go get LaShawn McCoy. Guarantee you in your league. He's in the free agency list. And stash him. You're not going to play. There's always 2 or 3 players that give you nothing. Like I got Howard, the running back for Miami, because I always try to pick a Dolphin or 2 for every team, being that I'm a huge Dolphins fan. He's going to give me nothing. I'll hold on to him until I find a back that pops, or I need an injury to happen. I need another injury to happen to a starter, and I'll go get his back up, and I'll replace it with Howard. There are guys that just aren't going to give you anything. Hold on to them until you see their replacement, then go grab them and drop that guy. There's some guys you just hold on to. Lamar had a bad game last night for another team of mine. I think I lost that game. Yeah, I did. 140 to 120. Lamar only gave me 14, but Nick Chubb gave me 24. 17 from Amari Cooper, 16 from Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, another great pickup. If you guys don't have, I'm pretty sure he's off most of the boards, but maybe you could try to work a trade, convince somebody to do a trade with you. Still waiting for T.Y. Hilton to come around for me. Only 3 catches, 52 yards on Sunday. Good for 8.2 points, but Indianapolis D, I blew it. Play Miami's D for Thursday night. Miami's D gave me 11 points, but 20 Indianapolis defense and your PPR ESPN leagues had 27, which is dope. Like, you can win a lot. You can win a lot of games, or you could give up a lot on offense if your defense is going to give you 27 points. So that was my one bench mistake. And then last team here, this one I just got smacked. This guy had 170. But he had guys that had 36, 18, 14, 30, 14, 25, 13, 30. Like, there was only one person, and it's Leonard Fournette with 4.2. Everybody else just raked up. Larry Fitzgerald, tried to show some love to Larry Fitz. He had 1 catch, 0 yards, and they're lost there. Dalvin Cook gave me 25, but Cam Newton only 11, and Deshaun Watson only 17. So either quarterback I'd have played wouldn't have done any well. Julio was out hurt. I got Howard on this team, too, on the bench. Not going to use him. Missed on Renfro. Renfro had 20. Could have played Renfro for, I still would have lost, but could have played Renfro for Vegas Raiders over Larry Fitzgerald. Might have been a little better there. Get text messages here up and down. All right, guys. So later this week, I will go back to my picks. We'll talk some more about the Major League playoffs tomorrow. Great games. They got the White Sox and the Athletics. I'm going to watch. I haven't watched a lot of regular season of these 60 games, but I will watch. I DVR. I will watch every single playoff game. I do it in all of the 4 major sports. I watch every NHL playoff game. I watch NFL, of course, NBA, of course, but I watch every Major League Baseball playoff game. I just DVR the games, and I'm up late studying, especially being back in school right now. I'm up late studying. I'll put the game on TV or put the game on my phone, or if it's 2 games, I'll put 1 game on TV and 1 game on my phone, and then be on my computer doing my schoolwork and get my coverage in, man. So we got to wrap up. Like I said, I got to cut it short today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, we just hit some things today. College football, Major League Baseball playoffs is back. Got a chance to talk about Doc Rivers a little bit. Got a chance to throw some things out there. Also, Tennessee Titans, quick NFL note. Tennessee Titans have to shut down their facilities because of COVID. And their coaches have already said they make no excuses that if they still going to play without practice this week. They're not going to cancel the game. The NFL is a combination of the biggest bully on the block and a really great businessman. They do what they want to do. They don't let anybody tell them what to do. The NFL is going to do what they want to do. But they do run a really good business. It's profitable for players, coaches, owners, like everybody, like merchandise. I mean, concessions, like the NFL is the shit, whether people want to admit it or not. The NFL is the shit. It's the best thing going. So I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. Maybe no tomorrow. I'm on Fox Soul on the Mike and Donnie show. So I'll spend all day preparing for that. But also catch me either Friday or Saturday. We'll jump on and we'll go over. I am not talking about the Thursday night game about the Broncos and the bum-ass Jets. I don't care about the Broncos and the bum-ass Jets. 2 bum-ass teams at 0-3 and the bum-ass Jets I hope fall to 0-4. But Friday or Saturday, I will jump on for some college football preview. We'll talk about all the games, try to get some scores out there. Want to thank all my listeners on Spreaker.com, Podcast and Later, iHeartRadio. Thank all my viewers here on Facebook Live. On Investment Sports Network, and thank everybody right here on my Instagram Live. I'm on 4 platforms at the same time. Oh, YouTube Live. So all my platforms running well today, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funny. It's some VJs on Sports Like Conduct. You guys go sit back, enjoy the games today, man. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.